Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel. In this lesson, we are diving into two commonly used words in English that sometimes confuse learners: shall and should. By the end of this lesson, you will understand the difference between the two and when to use each one correctly in conversation. And stick around because I've got some key tips, examples, and a quick quiz at the end to test your knowledge. So let's get started. Shall and should are both modal verbs used to express different levels of certainty, obligation, or suggestion. Though closely related, their use varies based on formality, intent, and context. Now that we've introduced the topic, let's start by looking at shall. Shall is used in formal English for making suggestions, offers, or expressing future actions in the first person. It is also commonly found in legal and official documents. So, when do we use shall? 1. Shall is used to talk about future actions in the formal context. For example, I shall visit my grandmother tomorrow. Shall in this sentence express formal intention about a future action. 2. We shall review the project after lunch. Shall in this sentence indicates a formal plan or decision for a future action. 2. Shall is used to make suggestions and offers. For example, shall we take a break? Shall is used here to politely suggest an action. 2. Shall I help you with the dishes? Shall is used here to offer help in a polite and formal way. 3. Shall is used to show commands and obligation in a legal and formal context. For example, the contract states that the tenant shall pay rent on the first day of the month. Shall in this sentence indicates a formal obligation stated in a legal document. 2. All employees shall follow the company policies. Shall in this sentence expresses a mandatory action that all employees must follow in a formal context. Now that you are familiar with when to use shall, let's move on to should. Should is used to express duty, obligation, recommendation, or probability. So, when do we use should? 1. Should is used to discuss obligation and duty. For example, you should apologize for being late. Should in this sentence expresses a moral obligation. suggesting that apologizing is the right thing to do. 2. Students should submit their homework by Friday. Should in this sentence indicates responsibility or expectation, implying that submitting the homework by Friday is necessary. 2. Should is used to give recommendation and advice. For example, you should try this new restaurant. Should in this sentence gives advice or recommend an action, indicating that it will be enjoyable or beneficial. 2. She should read this book. It's very informative. Should in this sentence recommends that reading the book would be a good idea because of its value. 3. Should is used to talk about probability and expectation. For example, he should be back by now. Should in this sentence indicates an expectation or likelihood that the person has already returned based on current circumstances. 2. The train should arrive in 5 minutes. Should in this sentence expresses a reasonable expectation about when the train is likely to arrive. Now that you know when to use shall and should, let's now look at the grammatical structure in forming affirmative sentences with shall and should. This is how the structure looks like. We've got the subject followed by shall or should, then the verb before the rest of the sentence. For example, I shall meet you at the park. I is the subject, followed by the modal verb shall, then the verb meet before the rest of the sentence. 2. You should eat more vegetables. You is the subject, followed by the modal verb should, then the verb eat before the rest of the sentence. Having covered how to form affirmative sentences, how about the negative? To do that, we've got the structure subject followed by shall or should, then not. After that, verb before the rest of the sentence. For example, I shall not forget your birthday. Remember, shall not can be contracted into shan't. So I is the subject, followed by shall not or shan't. Then the verb forget before the rest of the sentence. 2. He should not, which can be contracted into shouldn't, spend too much time on his phone. He is the subject, followed by should not, which can be contracted into shouldn't. Then the verb spend. After that, the rest of the sentence. And to form interrogative sentences or questions, this is how the structure looks like. It begins with the modal verb, shall or should. Then the subject. After that, the verb. Then the rest of the sentence. And finally, the question mark. For example, shall I bring the documents tomorrow? Shall comes first, which is the modal verb, followed by the subject I. Then the verb bring, followed by the rest of the sentence, and finally the question mark. 2. Should we leave early? Should is the modal verb which comes first, followed by the subject we. Then the verb leave. Then the rest of the sentence, and finally the question mark. Now that you've got a full picture about how to use shall and should correctly, I hope this clears up any confusion about these two modal verbs. Remember, shall is more formal and often used for offers or future intentions, while should is perfect for giving advice or making recommendation. It is now time to see how much you've learned with this quick quiz. Give it a try and leave your answers in the comment section. If you found this lesson helpful, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel for more grammar tips. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and see you again in the next lesson. Goodbye.